Hi Scorpio. Alright, welcome to this place if you're new here, and welcome back if you're returning. So, it's a beautiful morning. How's the song go? Gonna go for a walk outside. It's a foggy day, foggy autumn day. It's mellow though, and quiet. Now, I want to have a little conversation before we jump into your cards. I hope you don't mind. This month we're not rushing. I don't feel like it's a time to rush. There's a lot of astrological things. It's actually one of the more busier months astrologically, so if you're feeling a lot, that could be a part of it. You're also 12th on my roster. So, to me, when a sign sits in the 12th, sits last on the roster of the zodiac, if you will, then this is a month for like asylum. You know, it's a month for rest, it's a month for prayer, it's a month for quiet, introspection. Not that there aren't other things that are being done, you know, it's important to allocate a little bit of time there also, because there's probably some shadow work right before your birthday. In Libra time always, you can think about this, any October, especially if you have a lot of stars here, especially if you were a Scorpio rising, as well as Scorpio sun, but that's always it's a little bit of an adjustment point. You know, it's not a big, huge adjustment. There doesn't need to be any of that this month. It's like little things, and it's mostly inside of you. So I heard, please take your time with that. Now, Libra season, when I'm recording this, is all about love and relationships, so focusing in on that, letting go of control in relation to your external relationships, really key. It'll help you feel more confident once you hit your birthday. It was just 222, right? It's like everything lines up, it becomes even, right? You're balancing in this time. So your vantage point, or like your viewpoint, your POV, your point of view is, I heard, no matter what that is externally, you want to really mirror that back to you. Pretend everybody in front of you is yourself. Will actually help you a lot. And I do feel like you have this storyteller card on the bottom, which are these shadow puppets. So there could be something, I guess, about storytelling, maybe reading books actually in this time, doing any kind of like spiritual study could also be really helpful for you. And please be aware of the stories that you tell yourself, okay? Now, I actually, before your reading, when I was sitting with your energy, I saw Jupiter in Scorpio, and this reminded me of when Jupiter was in Scorpio. I can't remember the exact year. It was like maybe 4 years ago. But there was this reading called Self-Worth. Cha-ching. Do you remember this one? And we told the story. I told you the story about how it was the first time in my whole life I ever asked for a raise and I got it. You know, where I acknowledged my own value, my value. I wasn't expecting anyone else to agree with that, but I was aware of where I was at, and I stepped up to a new level. And so there may be something about this time period that could help you to reference like where you are now. And maybe that video will also be helpful, because it had to do with, right? Let me stop for a second. I feel like this month there's been a lot of like fast talking. So I heard, watch your mind. In this time, okay? Now, not those ones, okay? These ones, no. These ones, yes. All right, let's start. We have a few areas of life here. Let's start with where there's an opportunity that maybe you don't see, right? And I would, because you're 12th again, it's like, this is Pisces energy. So there could be something like, where, how do I explain it? It's like, it's not always what it seems. It's not always what it seems. So if there's a story being told or an answer that comes to something, that could be a part of it, but there's probably another layer. Or maybe in Libra time, this is, again, one of your adjustment points, you know, one of Libra's magical abilities, which most of you probably have something in Libra. It's like, you know, seeing it from the other side may be very helpful. And remember, whoever is outside of you is your mirror, right? It is you. If you see their strengths, if you see their beauty, if you see you love them so much, like, I want you to love yourself that much. I want you to respect, you know, whoever you respect, well, that is, etc. Now, I heard this is why you want to remember point of view, what you're focusing on. Because I heard we're building up to a whole new level, right? Seems to be a collective thing. So let's look again at what the opportunity is in this time that you may not see. Okay, interesting. Oh, interesting. Okay, it kind of emphasizes what we're talking about. You have the enchanter, which represents deception and trickery in the reverse. This comes with the magician, which also can represent trickery and deception. So there's something mental here, right? Okay, Libra's going to be through Mercury, the mind, is in Libra this whole time, okay? Give me a second. What is the opportunity that you don't see? Some of you can, okay. I'm thinking about somebody else. Hold on a second. I want to focus on you. Like, meaning, this reading is for you. This reading is yourself. Let's take it like that. Let's take everybody else out of the equation and just focus on you, okay? How do you trick yourself mentally? Maybe it's about sadness for some of you. Or maybe it's about what you focus on in the world. Or what's around you. What's within you. I'm seeing like the corners of a room. I almost want to like close my... Let me try to read... Okay, hold on. I'm not sitting up straight. You want to just take a minute to, if you're at work or like driving or something, I mean, keep listening, but I really feel like you want to pause this and be really somewhere where you can like sit in your body. Like where you put, okay, you're the lower part of you, I can't show you because I'm wearing a dress, but like, now I sit cross-legged, but your hip, like your lower part of your body, your hips, your butt, all of this, you want this on solid ground. Okay. Just a minute. Your opportunity is to quiet your mind. Okay? Don't try to figure out the answers. Look, I have Mercury in Scorpio. I get it. You want to figure out, you love figuring out the answers, especially Scorpio. Dig, 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 right? But the thing is sometimes you can just come up with a answer that's just plainly out of pain or paranoia or being pissed or lonely or depressed or whatever. Like, just, it's easy to be like, well, this is this because of that. Like, alright, the same thing's happening that happened with another sign is where, okay, what did we just get into it, right? We were like, let's be quiet, and then all of a sudden we touched on all these negative. But you know what that was? It was like, okay, you're sitting here, right? Safety bubble. I am safe and loved and protected. I would assume most of you, your world right now, at least your bubble, home, money, like, I'm sure you have some good relations in your life, and if you don't, that would be something to work on, because this could very well be where let's stick to the point. See what we're doing. Cancer's energy, Cancer, that's what it is. That would be helpful. They rule over the moon. You are a very sensitive being. Just a second. Let's see if we can read this before the battery. So the battery's running low. So you got to watch your energy in this month, okay? What section is this in? The Academy. Oh, this is what you've been learning about. So you've already learned. Those of you here have already learned enough about the lesson of deception and trickery. That from others, that from yourself, that from the way you've done it to other people. Because everybody has, whether it's unconscious or not, right? Now, in the reverse, let's talk about this. This is the Enchanter here, reverse, addresses the repairing of relationships after a deception comes to light. You or someone you know may have had the truth of their deceit revealed, willingly or not. Losing them, the trust of others. Now is the chance to work together and reach a state of reconciliation. Now remember, this is about where you, more than anything, I feel like this is where you deceive yourself. I don't feel like this would be a time to go back and try to rekindle the ex, you know, like some deception in some other place. It's just like, that is not, because you really can't repair it after the bridge is burned. That kind of stuff, it's not worth it. I mean, if it again, this reading is for you, Scorpio. So again, I wish I had a dictionary. Deceit. Losing trust. Okay. And you want to work together. Some of you, I heard, have to find like your twin, meaning like your, okay, you have your light and shadow side, all right? Interesting. This is where you trick yourself in thinking like, this is where a person tricks themselves in thinking like, I'm not worth it. I can't be honest. Or like, they misconstrue the message. You know, they think, for instance, it's about something outside of them. It's about their job. It's about that ex-lover. It's about that family member. It's not about that. Anything that is bothering you outside of you, I need you to mirror it, please. Please, that's the lesson, because the Magician is about a person, a singular person, you, having all the tools that you need to find clarity. But I feel like the mind's going to do the other, it's going to do a switcheroo. So I heard, don't cling to anything in this time. You know what I mean? This is a time, no moon. Don't cling to anything. Hold on, I'm going to go get the battery and I'll be right back. Okay, I feel like we've said enough about that. Let's move ahead. Let's see what you have built up into this point that cannot be taken away from you. Remember, this is what you have built and what cannot be taken away from you. Oh, you have the Spy Master. Which is about knowledge and distrust. Let's just keep going. And then we have the Air. Unseen potential and hesitation. And the Knight of Cups. Okay, so the Knight of Cups has already learned the lessons. They've learned something. Particularly about mistrust. You have a lot of that energy in here. Truth reveals ubiquitous solitary time. If you have solitary time in this time, it's going to cause something to become ubiquitous in ways of revealing what trust is to you. Okay? How you trust yourself. And therefore trust others, right? That's all that is in this life, is wanting comfort. Right? With other people. I feel like I just like frowned so hardcore when we said that. So that was another thing, is I felt like this worry energy and kind of lonely in some way. There's like, I heard maybe some of you missed the loneliness and being sad. You know that Nirvana song? Now look, so what you have built at this point, and that cannot be taken away from you, is some kind of knowledge about yourself and about honesty. There was also some kind of unseen potential here with the Air that some of you perhaps were hesitant upon, where you were like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can run. I don't know if I can get that, like get a new job. I don't know if I could date again. I don't know if, you know, I can leave this toxic relationship. I don't know if I can be honest and show people who I really am and not feel judged. That kind of stuff. And really, whatever that all was, apparently someone pushed through some hesitation and got out of their own way and changed what they know, right? Remember, Aquarius is one of your squares, which means when you have decided in yourself, well, I know, well, whatever you have decided to know and solidify like that, then you have to remember to keep an open mind, especially in ways of your positive thinking, right? Jupiter is one of your blind spots. So sometimes trust and faith and optimism in other people and yourself, whatever, is a little bit blocked. It goes back and forth. Now, your other Jupiter, Pisces, is a trine to you. But you have to believe, just like Libra represents our one-on-one relationships with others, the foundation of that is, what is the relationship with your own spirit, right? Do you like yourself? And Pisces is like, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that you came here in this life for a reason, to see what you can see, to experience what you can experience? And from a person that has a really strong, I'm a very plutonic person, so I understand Scorpio nature pretty deeply. It's like, I get it. Some of the things when you come into this life are not easy. And if anything, it's helping others to see their distrust or their disgust or their judgments or whatever it is. But Scorpio does have a lot of karma because you're ruled by a malefic. You're ruled by Mars. But the thing is Spirit knows that your soul is strong enough to be able to deal with it. But sometimes you take those lessons in relation to other people that hurt and forget that that is a lesson to you too. Do you know what I mean? Does this make sense? And I know it takes a long time to look to love all of that, and to still look to the future forward with a loving heart, with faith in other people, and emotional like comfort and security in the fact that like other people can handle their own thing, that you can relate to other people even if they are different or like are on their own path, right? Love never separates, right? Love is everything. Just like God is everything, love is everything. Interesting, Scorpio. It's always a deep conversation with you. All right, let's see. Let's see, Scorpio, right? Because this is now looking forward. I'm so happy someone can see their potential now. Maybe, hi Zumi. Maybe that's part of what some of you have helped others. Please remember that. Sometimes your job is to help others see their potential, to help them be stronger. And because you're ruled by Pluto too, there is no control. You know, you could have children. Those are not, what does Rumi say? Your children live in the days of tomorrow. They're not your children. You know, you can't make people like you or think like you or any of that, but you can be a part of their life, and we all teach one another. You know, so I heard, who are your teachers? Hi, Zumi. You know, spirit or otherwise. Right? Zumi was one of my biggest teachers ever. She was an animal. She didn't even speak English. We didn't even speak the same language. Beyond the language of love. You know? So, there's that. Interesting. All right, let's see. It's starting to rain a little bit. Let's see. Well, I feel like this is an opportunity too. Let's see what that is. The priest. The priest, which is about perseverance and faith. What is that with? The Eight of Wands. Oh man. One huge raindrop just landed when we said that on the message from Spirit. This is all, okay. I want you to remember that you're going to be okay. I want you to remember that other people are going to be okay. I want you to remember that the world will be okay. That the earth will be okay. I know sometimes it doesn't seem like it because the world is like really, this world has a lot of broken parts to it. I get it. But it's the way we perceive it, what we want to focus on, right? I know the darkness of the world. I get it. I know the darkness of myself too. And that's when I hated myself. That's all I could see. Was when I lived in my own darkness and just like wallowed in it, like that's all I could see in the world. That's all my relationships ever were. And then as I like worked through that and clawed my way out of it, right, dug the well and cleaned out the bottom and all of that, it's just like finally the water flowed. It's like now when I look around, you know, I see the beauty around me. And I guess if there's anything that you're going through that where there's, again, in Libra time, it's an adjustment. So if there's something where you're like, I'm guessing you have to be adjusting something right now. And there's a lot of mental energy. So remember, the mind, whatever the mind thinks, whatever the stories we tell ourselves about life, about ourselves, whatever, it's what we find in the world, you know? We think everything sucks, we will find everything that fucking sucks. If we think that life is awesome and loving and like everyone can take care of themselves and the only thing, imagine if the only thing you had to take care of, it was yourself. I mean, that's really all you do it anyway. But there was something about that. What are we saying? Oh. Remember, I have no problems. I have no problems. Spirit is trying to have a conversation. Your heart is trying to have a conversation with you. Some of you have already gotten through this, realized your own deception, and can now, like, address it when it comes, right? Like when that voice comes and tells you whatever it is that's untrue, you're like, no, that I know that's untrue. Like, I know that's just me trying to hurt myself. I heard Spirit doesn't want you to hurt yourself. So, and also to love yourself. You know, maybe that's a part of it. You know, because really, most Scorpios are Libras, which means that you care about other people so much. You want the best for other people. You want the world to be peaceful most of the time, right? Because you can't make a liar tell the truth. You can't make a crazy person sane. You can't make someone who's stupid smart. It's like we can't, that's that control, that weird control thing, right? But we can, in ways of changing ourselves. Oh my God, Scorpio. And it really is a time of great change. During this eclipse season, we're having a long reading. And you know what, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Scorpio. Any of the people already dipped out. They're like, I already know this. That ain't me. Like whatever, fucking snotty, impatient, like unwilling to learn. Like, see you later. Don't care. You know what I want in my circle? People who give a shit. People who are like, they don't exactly have to be on the same page, but they at least have to have an awareness that like there are these cycles in life, and I want that's around me, that believes in me. You know what I mean? And that's because now I believe in myself for the most part. I mean, I still have shaky parts. Who doesn't? You know, a humble person doesn't think that they're the shit all the time, or that they got it all figured out. And I'm not saying you do. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, the opportunity right now is faith, this conversation of faith. This, maybe some of you need to have a conversation about your perseverance and what you have come to. Because some of you need to release some heart chakra energy. Taurus who was it? Capricorn talked about root chakra. A lot of your Capricorn's doing Scorpio. You, Scorpio, are doing Leo. That's actually very suiting. So your heart chakra and your root chakra, these are wicked important. What does red and green make? Well, here we go. Maybe this is till Christmas a little bit. But red and green also makes brown, which is a place of grounding. It's a place of feeling grounded. like we talked about in the beginning, like putting your feet on the ground, putting your body on the ground, like, and Cancer also talked a lot about, their reading was going to be called like body talk, which Sag talked about that too, but it's really this good talk, and that's kind of what needs to happen also. So it's kind of like Spirit's like, I'm listening to you, I want to help you. I heard, tell me what you need. This is not, I don't feel like for most of you, this is another person. Not for the most part. This is more, again, these readings are for you purely, so that you know love in your heart, so that we all can speak from our heart with kindness and patience, to trust that what we have created in this life can sustain itself, that the lessons that have come were for a good reason, and that nothing is forever, right? Again, I'm a very Plutonic person. I have rid myself of so much in this life, particularly physically, you know, and I didn't understand that at first, like what that really meant, you know. It causes a lot of like issues of abandonment to come up. And then what happens is we understand how not to abandon ourselves. And I feel like if you're a part of Patreon, this is what we talked about in that Pluto aspect reading recently, okay? Because it's really powerful with the eclipses this time, especially being through Libra. Okay, let's see what Spirit has to say. What is your... The Diviner. This is the Diviner. So this is about divine timing as well as evaluation. So right now is such a crucial, critical time for you to give yourself a good psych evaluation. Maybe you want to just look that up on the internet. Simple psych evaluation. What are these questions? I took one once. I don't remember the questions now. I was too distraught when I took it. The point is that like, that may be something that's helpful, right? It's called a check-in, right? I do it with all my relationships. With me with work, me with my friendships, me with my lover, like, you know, me with myself. How am I doing? And I feel like this is a really beautiful time for you to do that, especially because I see Spirit like hears you. Look, this card has a little seed, and now there's a little plant growing from it, right? I would assume some of you are in a shedding stage. And as you're coming closer to your birthday, think about it. You're getting in the latter degrees of this 360-degree cycle that you just went around since your birthday last October, right? Or since October, November. What's with that? 10 of Wands. So I heard, where does your stress come from? And how do you shake it off? Energy, right? Remember, let's go over a few things from the past. There's a Spidey right there. Hi, Spidey. Hey, sweetheart. Right, because I know all of you work so hard. And maybe some of you, if the stress is too big, you're probably putting your energy too much into one place. You guys spread it out into different areas of life, okay? Here's a lesson that you taught the collective. Whenever you get in your head too much, which is really like a heart blockage, right? The mind's telling the same story and the heart's like, but I don't believe that. But the mind's like, yes, you do. Go from your shoulders, which is like Leo, and then we do Gemini all the way down, and then Aquarius, right? Leo, Gemini, Aquarius. Leo, Gemini, Aquarius. Off, and you brush it off. Just brush it off. Brush it off. I feel like I'm Bob Ross right now. Did you know Bob Ross was a Scorpio? Bob Ross is a very elevated Scorpio. You want to know how to find peace in this world? Watch some Bob Ross. You know, one of the things he talked about, one of his favorite things that made him laugh was when he would go to clean his paintbrush. And he would clean his paintbrush while he was creating. He would clean his paintbrush many, many times. Right? Because when you're going to go from one color to another color, well, here's the chakras. You want to go from one color to another color, you have to clean your brush in between. And then when he did, he'd clean it really good, And then he took something hard and he goes, and it goes, he's just like, let's beat the devil out of it. Okay. Beat the devil out of it. And it made him happy. It made him happy to beat the devil. And you know what's interesting is one of your biggest adjustment points, a little astrological thing, your quincunx, or 150 degrees, one of your biggest adjustments is Gemini. Gemini is the mind. And it's two-minded. And they talked very much about no longer running with the devil. It's not trying to beat the devil in that race. It's just no longer being like, I don't want to run that race. I don't want to, like, beat the devil. It's that I want the devil. I want to... I heard, I want to stop beating... Somebody saying, I want to stop beating up myself for not being able to beat the devil. You know, sometimes what I find in ways of spirit, if we're going to take the other side of that, is that we tell spirit, like, I don't know how to handle this. You know, we become vulnerable. We say to... One of the times, I was reading an old notebook of mine once when I was in a wicked tough spot. I would write a lot because I was lonely and traveling and all these things. It was a long time ago. But the point is I went back and I read that notebook, and I didn't realize, but in that time, I wrote these words a lot. And the words I wrote was, I can't take this anymore. I can't handle it. I can't handle this. I can't take this. It's like... And at that moment, when I was doing that, it's because I felt so weak. But I didn't realize until after the fact that what I was doing was letting Spirit know that I, selfishly, could not handle everything in this world. It was too heavy on me, on my soul. And because I guess I admitted that, because I admitted weakness, because I surrendered, right? Aries, the other adjustment to you, is I surrender. And maybe that's a part of it where sometimes in the mind you have to do that. Be like, I'm not going to fight with this. I'm going to surrender to this. It's kind of like I saw the crow and the hawk. And that lesson is a lot about, well, that story may be something you want to look up, the hawk and the crow. But from what I've gathered of this story from an observation is that crow does this, like the mind, and it's like crow is the mind and hawk is the heart, and the mind's like this. You know what the hawk always does? Hi, Zoomy. Hawk goes like this. They're not affected by it. They're not ignoring it because they understand what happened. They've already gone all the way through it. Justice, the world. They've already gone all the way through it. And you know, I would say there must be something here where the relationship with you, remember, dictates your world. And I would assume for everyone, because of astrologically what's happening, the month that we're in, it's like all of our relationships are changing, most certainly, you know. And if you're having a hard time in ways of communicating what is in your mind, then please watch Taurus. I mean, I know you have a little different, you're the other side of that, so it's different, but Cancer and Taurus are both moon energy, and you are the most nocturnal of all the signs, so in essence, you can always think of yourself as a person that has moon in Scorpio. Which means that there are that there's feelings to be fixed, and also lessons on how to let go of energy, how to surrender, okay? And I heard you don't have to do it dramatically, okay? No, there's the priest again. So I heard again, Spirit wants to know what's on your heart. Because, you know, I actually see that there is a lot of love in your life. And those of you who are looking for romance, I mean, I feel like if you're single, then there's more internal things that need to be processed in ways of self-value before you get there. This may be more of a next spring thing. If you're already involved, then I would say please speak with your partner about what's on your heart, and also express to them that you need space, and everybody needs space, goodness gracious, and figure out like what it is. Taurus, yeah, Hermit, and the Two of Wands, like sit, and again, I saw that reading, like self-worth, cha-ching, you know, and because actually what you're missing here is earth. So some of you may feel very ungrounded at this time. So another way for you to maybe settle your mind a little bit, settle your emotions somewhat, your spirit somewhat, could be, well, I don't know, maybe some of you need to do something fun. Libra and Aries both talked about going bowling. You know, you know, maybe it's something, you know, don't, how do I see it? It's not that you're not supposed to take time alone, but you're not supposed to isolate ever, Scorpio. This in your mind or elsewhere, right? Don't hide. Right? If we hide from the world, then we're stating that we're afraid. And when we're fearful, truth, and when we're fearful, then there is a lack of love. Right? Judgment. That was also something in your prayer that came through about judgment. Like not judging yourself, not judging other people. You know, and I would watch the words that you use, not that a person, I'm seeing like, how do I explain it? What, Ace of, please remember to take some silence in this month. I know this is a long reading, everyone got like a 45-minute reading this month, but I guess we needed to, you know, if we're having a deep conversation, we can't freaking rush that. You can't rush that. You can't rush any kind of healing or building. Right? You rush a building, then you rush the construction of something, then it is shaky. Right? It's not solid, so you want to take your time. But during this month, I would definitely sit and consider, like, oh, I see. What we talked about, and then also maybe something practical that could also help you is to go over some financial things, you know. I mean, you rule over other people's money, so knowing what's in your bank account and how much you have there, and looking over your physical things, and again, even the people in your life and all the stuff that actually is around you and is solid. You know, you got a home, awesome, you got a bed, sweet, you have pillows and socks and shoes, tarot cards, friggin' vehicles, all of this, running water, art supplies, you know, like, and you know, part of the 12th house, close this out, part of the 12th house that could be very helpful too in ways of sorting through this energy is also, because I think it's less of an external conversation. This is more of quiet, and maybe it's creating in silence. You know, maybe it is making a drawing or making a painting or some kind of creative expression in silence. Okay, that may, and I feel like sobriety. Oh, if any of you drink, please don't. It'll be a disaster. Disaster. Don't do that. I heard don't deal with your problems in a surface way. Nope. And I heard please don't fight with anybody. This is not the time to fight. This is the time. 12th house is about peace. But it's also the prison. It also represents prison. So There's a lot of karma with the 12th house. Yeah, justice. And the cool thing is if you address whatever we're talking about here, look at these two balance signs in this Libra time. Apparently something brings you to a place of Queen of Wands. Here's all your power back and feeling so awesome when your season comes around. And once we get into, like, from now until the end of the year, you're going to be building up your power and feeling a lot more confident. So interesting. I would also say there is something with work for some of you in ways of timing or stress there that you also want to evaluate. I don't know if this is just like shaking off energy after work, getting that energy out of your body, you know, like something like that. You know, maybe just pay attention where you're like, whoa, okay, I'm losing steam here. And try to replenish. Yes, try to replenish. I wouldn't push. Okay? And again, whatever your focus is, if it's outside of you, try to spread that around and make sure that you're putting some of that back into you. Quiet, silent, feeling time. Okay? Because you could have some kind of epiphany, and I do feel like you just got the Tower with the Three of Swords in reverse. Some of you could shake out some kind of, because you know what, I know all of you have already done so much healing. You know, you quit drinking after 20 years, you quit doing fucking drugs, you quit that shitty relationship, you stopped dealing with your psychotic mother, like whatever this, everybody's got the stuff, right? It's like, but it's like a new, again, it's a new level or a refinement. And again, I see try to be quiet. Yeah, try to be quiet because it'll balance something. Okay. Alright. Thank you so much for being a part of this place. I hope this was helpful. I love you so much, Scorpio. Yes, I do. 10 of Cups, Queen of Wands. Yes, I do. You know, please don't think you're outside of the circle. Whatever that is. You're not. You're not. It's a mentality. You can trust other people if you trust yourself. 10 of Pentacles, the World. Alright. I love you so much. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for being a part of this place. Any of you who are still here, especially, thank you. It means you're patient. You have patience. It means you want to learn. It means you will do what we just talked about. Because we fully processed. We fully went around the wheel. Right? And thank you. And speaking of fully around the wheel, I know actually a lot of Scorpios and Pisces actually are... A lot of Scorpios are part of Patreon. And this is actually the one, our anniversary. So, happy anniversary. Thank you for that. Thank you for those, for all the good times, you know. Thank you for all the beautiful lessons. And I do feel like whatever this Ace of Swords brings or has brought, it's bringing you comfort, you know. Okay. Please take care, and I'll talk to you next time.